Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Local Pundit. I'm Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham News and Update show for Sunday, January 21st. Good afternoon, everybody. It's the day after the night before. Yes, we did go down to Newport County 1-0, but it wasn't without a fight, and we did go down to 10 men. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into a few things. And as you can see on the thumbnail, it says injury concerns, and Stash is on there, a.k.a. Tom O'Connor, who was a very important player to the side. As you can see yesterday, we missed him and we needed him. But wasn't, like I said, we did not go without a fight yesterday. We're going to get into that. I got an article here from the Leader talking about Phil Parkinson assessing say that 3 times fast, assessing the injured players before they go into the market and where we're at with injuries and possibly some issues we can have with the squad size. So very, very interesting thoughts. This comes from Mad Al, who was on the chat yesterday. Great guy. And also we were messaging back and forth today about some of the issues that can come up with squad size. So I'm going to read that to you. I have that up here. And we have a little bit of a discipline watch that we did talk about and some things that, aren't going our way. But anyways, like, share, subscribe. We were at 350 yesterday. Lost somebody, probably a Newport County fan. Lost somebody, but that's good. We're going to keep going. We're on our way to 1,000. So please get involved. Please subscribe to the channel, and we appreciate everything. This is actually my second time recording this because I tried it on the OBS, and I actually had the layout. I figured out Photoshop, trying to figure out OBS, which is like a studio version of what we're doing here. I'm on StreamYard, but I will get it. I worked on it for 3 hours this morning, just recorded one, and I lost it. So we're going to do it here the old-fashioned way. So gonna get it out to you. So let's get involved in it. Before we do that, it's Ollie Palmer's birthday today. He's 32 years young. So happy birthday to Ollie Palmer. Yes, 32 years young. Came on yesterday for a few minutes. Didn't make that much of an impact, but it is his birthday. He's a great guy, and I saw his interview on Men in Blazers, and I really like him. So happy birthday, Ollie Palmer. Another thing today, unfortunately, the women lost today, 3-0. Was it? Oh, I'm gonna look at it. So 1 second. They had another Cardiff City women beat Wrexham AFC women 3-0. It's a loss, but league leaders stamped their authority on at the Cardiff City Stadium. So they are the league leaders. Our women went down there and put their best foot forward. Obviously, like yesterday, we lost, and we hopefully bounce back for them. So best of luck to the women and what their next few games are doing. And you can watch them on iFollow. So please go check them out. But let's dive into this article with Parkinson from Richard Williams. And get our thoughts on that. Excuse me. Obviously, unfortunate after a loss, people need to assess and look at things. And my main concern is the injuries in the squad. It goes into Phil Parkinson says he's going to assess the injured players before deciding whether even more new signings are needed during the January transfer window. So far, we have no signings. Parkinson was forced into making 4 changes from the side that started the 2-0 home victory against Wimbledon for Saturday's Welsh derby at Newport County, which ended up in the 1-0 defeat, with Wrexham playing with 10 men for more than 70 minutes after William Boyle was shown the straight red card following the dangerous tackle, which I still believe was not a red card. Did actually had a Newport County fan reach out to me on X. Very, very kind guy. I think his name is Kieran. Said it was definitely a red card. You should have seen he had a scratch over him, and I saw that article too. Whether it's real or not, I still don't believe it was a red card. But this goes to the fact of, Boyle's been out for a while. Maybe it was a step short. I thought his, like you said, he went through, got the ball, and then, his momentum brought him through. And Parkinson said that yesterday. It wasn't intentional, and I don't think it was a point where it was a sending off. It was a derby. The referee, Simon Mather, was card happy, 11 yellow cards and a straight red, one obviously to Parkinson, probably came into play. And, a lot of factors happened there. So wasn't technically about William Boyle. My point is that Stash is out, and he would have been in there. And we're going to get into that real quick, what that means for O'Connor. And there's a quote here from Parkinson. It's a little concerning to me, especially with our back line, and we need someone to step up. And O'Connell, I believe, will be that person because he came on yesterday. And besides AO keeping us in the match, I thought O'Connell was our second best, 1 and 1A best player on the pitch yesterday for not being around for the last few weeks. So he's going to be very, very important. But moving on, so the injuries are this. Anthony Ford has a back issue. Tom O'Connor has a slight fracture in his foot. So that's weeks, maybe a month. Stephen Fletcher has a calf. Picked up injuries during the week. We're all missing at the Rodney Parade alongside Andy Cannon, who had that head injury last week. Probably concussion protocol for him. So, he wasn't risk. So that's fine. I'm fine with that. Although JJ didn't have his best match, our midfield wasn't able to get on the ball yesterday. And normally Gio can adjust things. We did, if we went into 0-0, as Parkinson suggested in his interview, things could have been different, but we just didn't have time on the ball to affect the match, in a way where we can turn the tide. Just wasn't in the cards yesterday. We could have played all night. We weren't scoring. We were not scoring. So Parkinson wants to strengthen his squad this month, and we got 10 days left. It's January 21st. It's January 21st right now. It's 8 hours later, so it's almost January 22nd. Parkinson wants to strengthen his squad this month to keep promotional challenge a boost, to give the promotional challenge a boost. Wrexham remains second in League Two, just 2 points behind leader Stockport, but will now evaluate the injuries and decide if the Reds needed extra bodies. Now, obviously, there were a lot of games that were called off yesterday due to wintry weather. We mentioned that in a second here. We are looking anyway. This quote. We are looking anyway, but we will just have to assess the injured players, said Parkinson, whose side who could have gone top of the table with a victory against Newport at Stockport's game against Notts County was postponed due to wintry weather. So again, I mentioned this yesterday. Our team was not thinking, we're going to go top of the table. That's not the mentality of the side. We win this, we go top of the table. It's not the mentality. Even though I think we are on the back foot for the first 15 minutes of the match before the sending off, I believe that we could have still turned that tide. And as we have done before, and even after we went down to 10 men, we still tried to push and open up the match. So, Notts County and Stockport will replay that game. So we're both at 27 matches played. So we both have a game in hand at this point. So that kind of makes things very interesting. So it's not that we have that game in hand. Now we're kind of even. We have the Forest game. The Crawley game is going to be missed as well because of this weekend with the FA Cup. So we're kind of on the even playing field at this point. So he says, Parkinson says, we have got 9 days before the next game, and we just need to look at everybody and see how long the injuries are going to be. Fletch will have a scan on Monday. That scares me. Fletch is going to have a scan on Monday. So how deep is this calf injury? Okay. Anthony Ford is going to see a specialist about his problem, his back problem. And we know where we stand with Tom. Now, Tom, he's going to mention it here in a second. Tom O'Connor, stress fracture. He's got a broken metatarsal, whatever it is. He's going to have it scares me. And I said, Egan O'Connor's got to have to step up. And it's almost maybe good that he got on the pitch yesterday. Maybe it's good he got on the pitch to get his recovery back. If there's a game on Tuesday, which is in 2 days for the reserves, he'll probably get some minutes in that, I'm assuming. And we'll definitely keep an eye on the news for the upcoming game. So, quote, this is Parkinson said, you're looking at a few weeks with Tom rather than months. So that's three players out. So that's Fletch, Ford, and O'Connor. So that's three injured players. And keep that in mind. We're going to mention this about what's coming up from Matt Alley. He mentioned something about the squad size. So it comes into play here. We got to think about this stuff. Andy has a slight concussion, and hopefully we will see a slight improvement in him this week. Of course, it's a disruption, but we've got good players to come in, and I felt if we'd kept 11 on the pitch against Newport, we would have had a great chance of winning the game. I thought so too. It wasn't to be, but sometimes things go against you so much that the mountain is too big to climb, and that was today with those circumstances. Yeah, so he's mentioned in the game yesterday about how they could have turned the tide, and I think they could have. But the main concern is the injuries. That's why injury concerns. And I'm going to walk into this discipline watch, which credit to Fearless and Devotion guys that brought this up on their X. They're great follow. And they do really good work there for Fearless and Devotion. So this is the discipline watch. It's the yellow and red cards. Now, I don't think we have a discipline problem, but we seem to be targeted To be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now, I know we didn't. We're not the man, but we're the man. Everyone wants to have a go at us. So to be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo! There you go. I got it out there. Anyway, so this is a discipline watch. Yellow cards and red cards and straight reds. So James McLean has 8 yellow cards. Elliot Lee has 5. Paul Mullen has 5. Striker, by the way. Egon O'Connell hasn't played that much, has 5. Ollie's got 4. Stash has 3. Boyle has 3. JJ has 3. Choser has 2. Andy Cannon has 2. Gio has 2. Aaron Hayden has 2. Dalby, Mendy, Davies, Fletcher, and Tunnicliffe are all on 1. Okay, so hold that thought about the yellow cards. Red card, 2 yellows. JJ's the only one with 2 yellows. Got sent off. He got sent off a couple weeks ago during the festive period. Straight reds. This is insane. Andy Cannon 1. Ryan Barnett 1. Gio 1. William Boyle 1. Obviously, that just happened yesterday. So that's 4 straight reds. 1 double yellow, and we have 1, 2, 3. You got to get yellow cards, but I'm not saying we're being targeted. I don't want to be that guy, but it seems a little card happy, especially for us, especially after yesterday's match. Here's the note that's interesting. It's a 2-match ban for 10 yellows picked up in the first 37 games of the season. Okay, we'll be at the 28th game when we get back against Salford City. 3-match ban for 15 cards until the final game of the season pre-playoffs. So who is in danger of that? It's James McLean. James McLean has 8 yellow cards. Maybe Elliot Lee and Mullen and O'Connell. But so if we have injuries and guys picking up, I think McLean for a 2-match ban, 10 yellow cards, McLean easily can get 2 yellow cards in the next, let's say, 9 matches. The way that people go at him, how aggressive he is, easily could happen. So James McLean could be serving a 2-match ban. If he gets 15 yellow cards before the end of the season, could be out for another 3. So let's keep that in mind. Now, this is the credit to Mad Al, which he said he said he rewatched the match. That's torture, and credit to him. Such a great guy. Good information. Rewatching the match yesterday, and then he was looking at the FA Cup rule books, the FA rule book for the matches, and he got this off there. In the EFL, there's a 22-player squad limit. I think there's a 24 squad limit in the Prem. So in the EFL, there's a 22-player squad limit, excluding goalkeepers and players who are under 21. A 16-player bench is allocated for the matches. Subtract injuries and suspensions, and we realize that more cards and injuries could mean that we could not put out a full side inclusive of subs on match day. So basically what he's saying, inclusive of subs on a match day. So can we fulfill the 22-man squad roster if we have injuries and players out and suspensions? Interesting. If we don't go into the market, reserves still need to be named for the squad by the end of the transfer window, unless their reserves are all under 21. So very interesting on that. Reserves still need to be named for the squad by the end of the transfer window, unless the reserves are all 21, which they're not. If we have 5 or 6 players out injured, this could come into play. Think about that. Additionally, what brings it to 15 or 16 outfield players plus Cleworth, who is 21 years old. We have 10 days, though. This is a text message from him. We've only got 10 days, though. Once the squad is named, we cannot swap players in and out. So Stash, a.k.a. Thomas O'Connor, who could be out for 3 to 4 weeks or 5 weeks, God knows, with a stress fracture injury in his foot, he could lose his spot till the end of the season. The only time players who aren't in the squad can be played for FA Cup games, for Cup games, in this case, the Cups. So FA Cup, which we're obviously have Monday game next week. That's very interesting to me. I believe all that'll come into play. I hope I wrap that around enough for everybody. Essentially, is we need a 22 squad player limit, and we have injuries. We need to name the players by the end of January 21. Stash is injured. I think we need to go into the market. We have a couple of players injured, at least 3 that we know of that could be lengthy. We don't know what the back issue is with Andy. Not with Andy. With Anthony Ford. So lots going to come into play here. So there's injury concerns, and we got to get into the market. I know we have to have the calm We have the calming presence, and we have to pass the test of what we want, what we want to do. But there's a lot happening here, and we got to if anyone passes the value test, let's see. But we got to go into the market. We got to figure this out. We got to get players back into the training ground. Anyways, okay. So tomorrow is Monday. We will do a news show, Wrexham News and Update show. Working on to get some interviews back in. Got blown off last week, which is fine. It happens. I understand people are busy. We're trying to get more people on. If I can get back on, Winter, Sean Winter, I'll get him on. I'm working on getting Ian on, and I'm working on getting Richard on too, Richard Williams. So he does great work at Leader Rich for the Leader. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, it's we went down, didn't lose our place yesterday. We're still in second. But I think we have a few. Let me look at the away matches. I'm going to look at our schedule real quick. Wrexham schedule. So our home form is great. Our away form is not as great. So here's our schedule as it looks right now. So we play, the Crawley game is off. Blackburn Rovers game, that's away. Salford away on the 3rd. Home against Bradford City. We are away against Sutton United. Wrexham, Notts County, February 17th. We're away at MK Dons on the 20th. Gillingham away on the 24th. And March 2nd, we're home at Accrington Stanley. So, we're home away. Makes me nervous when we go away. We just don't get the rub of the green. We're not a bad side. We can't get down on ourselves. Got to stay steady. So we're 52 points, 2 behind Stockport, 27 games played, and Mansfield Town has 50 points with 26 games played. So they have a game in hand. Crewe Alexander, 28 games played with 50 points. So we're in a good position. Top 3 go through. Got to maintain our discipline, and see what's going to happen in the market. So, okay, that is your Sunday session, and I Wrexham News and Update show. So on that bombshell, I will see you.